diagram. Hello. ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? Yeah. Yeah. Hello everyone. So today let's discuss on public administration optional. Hope you have watched the video that I have shared in the group about mains preparation overall, and also about comprehensive preparation, including the personality aspects. And I can assure you from today's session, you will be learning a completely new perspective on how to approach public administration optional, just beyond the theories, just beyond the usual books. So what can be done and what is public administration expecting from us? So we can learn that. And first of all, I have to personally thank public administration optional for getting me into the list as well as getting me into the IPS. Because for me, the public administration optional has been a journey of ebbs and flows. So in my first mains, I have given 3 mains so far. So in my first mains, my score was around 250. That was, I graduated. I got to know that there is something called as optional. Then I prepared for 2 months and I was able to score 250. The next year in 2024, I had put in a lot of effort. I can say I was overconfident that like last year with just 2 months, I got 250. This year I will get minimum 250, 260, 270 like that. And UPSC, as always, is known for its surprises. It took me to 190. And still, that year I gave interview. Why? I gave interview because I was from public administration optional. I will tell you why. And this year I was able to improve it to 270 and kept me in the list. For me, the first I have written mains. I couldn't qualify in my first mains. In my second mains, I qualified my mains. I gave interview. I couldn't qualify my interview. In my third mains, I cleared mains, cleared interview, and got into the list. So for me, it's a progressive aspect. So in here, why did I give interview in 2024 despite having 190, which is the least score you can have for someone who is giving the interview? Why? Because of PubAd. First, PubAd, ethics, and GS2. So for if you know, the PubAd paper 2 is almost the very similar to the GS paper 2, and the ethics, there is a certain aspect called as bureaucratic ethics. In ethics, there is individual ethics, there is bureaucratic ethics, and then there is applied ethics with respect to the case studies. How do you apply whatever you have learned so far? So in case studies also, there are something called as standard operating procedures. So that we study during our public administration. So I was able to score nearly 120 in ethics, which is a very good score. And in GS2 also, I scored somewhere around 115, which is a good score above the average. So that year I gave interview because I was having very good exceptional GS score plus SS score, but bad in optional score. But still, this 192 to 270, what changes did I do? How did I improve that score? Because in any optional, 80 mark jump itself is a huge jump. So we will discuss that today. So, and I can assure you, I have from nearly this year, as I know, like nearly 30 people got selected from public administration optional, which I feel is a considerable amount compared to previous years. Why? Because previous years public administration was getting butchered. We used to call it the butcherer. Why? The butcherer of dreams. So, but every optional goes through this phase. That is, what happens? Usually, let's say we are getting good scores in optional. Everyone starts taking it. The quality of answers, the quality, everything gets stagnated or it will go down. Then, because there are too many people, UPSC starts punishing the optional. As we have seen in the this year, 2025, anthropology was getting butchered. Like if you have talked to your friends, you may have realized next 3-4 years, anthropology, sociology, you need to do extra beyond whatever theory you read. So what used to happen was that from my interaction, that if you read IGNOU materials and if you read certain materials, you could have gotten good marks in before 2018, 2015, like that. But after that, because too many people were taking PubAd, the PubAd started getting punished. So the number of people who are taking PubAd also reduced, the marks also reduced. But again, public administration is making a resurgence because now we are trying to do something different. So if you know, like if you talk to some of your friends, they may have said some topper just read anthropology for 2 months and he scored 280. But from this year, it is not possible in anthropology. You need in-depth understanding. The same way, you can't expect yourself to watch some lectures and read some standard books and score 280 in a public administration optional. Why? Why? Because if you take any optional, you require MA level of knowledge. Do you really expect yourself to get BA plus MA level of knowledge within 2-3 months? It will take 1 year, 1.5 years of dedicated efforts minimum. So that is why, and especially in PubAd, public administration is a beautiful subject. All the analytical thinking that I usually do, if you have attended my classes, you may be knowing about it. That is, if I am able to connect point 1 to point 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11, 12, 20, that analytical thinking comes from PubAd. Because what is PubAd? PubAd is examples. PubAd is one of the only optionals with a lived experience. For example, let's say Karnataka. When you talk about Karnataka, the first thing from a public administration perspective that comes into mind is the e-governance. We are the pioneers in e-governance. The Bhumi project that Indian government, so many states are copying right now. We did it like 10, 15 years ago. The Sakala mission, we did it so long back. The e-governance with respect to digitalization, e-Swattu, e-Kutumba, Fruits Portal, all this we did far earlier compared to other states. Now other states are learning from us and implementing it. That is public administration. See, what is public administration? Public administration is what you do when you become a DC. What you do when you become a DC? You will look at, let's say your district is facing water shortage. You will look at the neighboring district. You will look at the neighboring state. You will see what they are doing good and you will implement it in your district. That is public administration. So if you just stick to theory, if you try to, what do you call, Rattamar, what is that? Bayat. If you try to bayat and vomit it in the exam, they are going to butcher you. I can say assuredly. And 95% of the optional students are doing that only. 95% of the optional students, there are some available notes in the market. You will just go through the notes. You will try to remember everything, try to vomit in the exam. But go to 25, 24 papers and all. They are becoming very analytical. You won't understand even which chapter they are asking questions from. The questions are becoming multi-dimensional in the sense, you cannot say this question is particularly from administrative law. This question is from motivation. They are bringing administrative law into motivation and regulatory theories. So they are making holistic questions. So for that, we should have understanding. We should have analysis rather than only theory. So we will discuss that aspect in the session. So, and let me give you my credentials. So, I have scored 123 and 120 in ethics because of PubAd optional. Any other optional, I don't know. I could have got this much good score because whatever the keywords that we use in PubAd, you know, iron cage of rationality, you know, Max Weber, do you know, then bureaucratic ritualism, you know, bureaucratic apathy, take any keywords. So all these keywords, goal displacement, then holistic competence, behavioral competence, and all the example, Mission Karma Yogi, all this example, I got it from PubAd only. So I did not do some extra effort for ethics. Whatever I had learned in PubAd, I applied in ethics and I got excellent scores. This is one of the top 20 scores this year in ethics. So then 120, then even GS2 I have 115, which is a very good score. And PubAd paper 1 I had 137 223, which I feel is a very good score. Any score above 130 in any paper of the optional is considered very good score these days. Like previously, you could have studied for 2-3 months and you could have got 150, 300 in optionals. Now that's not the case. If you get 260, 270, that is considered as an exceptional score because of something called as normalization. If you know normalization. And 150 in paper 2, which is 150 if you know, is one of the highest marks you can achieve in any optional in any paper. So 150 in paper 2 this year. So we will discuss about the true evolution of the optional, true demand of the optional, and what we should do. Firstly, I will give you a foundational material. So first, these are some of the must go through aspects. One is you can go through Lukman lectures. Lukman lectures are pretty good, especially considering if you are not understanding, let's say you started from these books, you're not understanding anything from these books, then you should go to Lukman lectures or any of the lectures, even Pawan Kumar sir's lectures, Prashant sir's lectures, you can go through them. Why? See, I always believe videos are not the first solution for everything. You don't know answer rating, immediately buy an answer rating course. You don't know, first what you should do, sit down. Let's say you are studying NCERTs. Why do you need coaching for NCERTs? First sit down and try to read it, study, read the books. If you are not understanding a particular subject, then go and take the coaching for that. You are, let's say you are reading Lakshmikant, first read on your own, because in the end, all the efforts that you put on your own matters. Just because listening to 150 Lukman lectures, you don't become a public administration professor. Because whatever the sir is teaching, it is his 30-40 years of experience. But where is your effort? You are just listening to the class, in between that, like getting distracted and all, not just writing down whatever sir says and making a notes out of it and thinking that my public administration preparation is done. This is one of the biggest mistakes every optional student does. That is why public administration wasn't performing well these days. The major reason was that we thought that these classes and plus these books are more than sufficient. If I study this, I will get good scores. But that's not the case. First read Aribam and Aribam. Aribam and Aribam are very simple. Very simple, easy to understand. I can say it is even simpler than Lakshmikant. Lakshmikant GS2. The one, what do you call that? Quality Lakshmikant. It is even simpler than that because it is in story format. And then let's say you are studying any book. Don't study public administration for the sake of your exam. Curiously study, show curiosity whenever you study public administration. So how many of you have completed your foundation in public administration? So yeah, most of you. So let's say, how many of you know administrative law? You know there is something called as administrative law. What is Wednesbury principles? What is Wednesbury principles? Now go and Google it. Wednesbury principles. In administrative law, Wednesbury principles are the most important pillar. Why we don't know that is because we thought we read some books, we'll get whatever we want from these books and don't do any extra research. Let's say you are reading something, stop there, you didn't understand. Immediately you Google, you have ChatGPT, Google, what is administrative law? What is green light theory? You know what is green light theory in administrative law? What is red light theory in administrative law? PYQ, this is PYQ. Green light theory and red light theory. What is Wednesbury principles? Wednesbury principles. What is Wednesbury principles is that there are certain doctrines. One is the doctrine of proportionality. In administrative law, law has to be proportional. Law should be brought in only if it is necessary. The doctrine of necessity. Then law should be non-arbitrary. There should be some reasons for law. That is doctrine of reasonableness. Doctrine of reasonableness, doctrine of non-arbitrariness, doctrine of necessity, doctrine of proportionality. All these are called as Wednesbury principles. And where do you remember them from? You remember them from the Puttaswamy judgment. In Puttaswamy judgment, the government, the Supreme Court gave 3 guidelines, right, for any infringement on individual privacy. The one was proportionality, other 2 I don't remember. Necessity, something like that. Then I thought, what are these principles? I Googled. I got them as Wednesbury principles. This is your own curiosity. This is your own curiosity. No teacher can teach. Because public administration is an evolving subject. Now, let's say you are writing an answer on public administration. Let's take the example of people's participation or transparency. Which example will you give? Transparency in governance. Which example will you give? Yeah, RTI. Your all PS will be giving RTI. If 100 people are writing from PubAd, 100 people also will write RTI. Then why would you expect extra marks? Why, as an evaluator, should I give you extra marks? Now, go and search what is RTPS, Act of 2023 or 24 in Rajasthan. What is RTPS? Right to Public Service Act. Right to Public Service Act. Then go and search what is Bhagidari model. What is Sakala Mission of Karnataka? What is Bhagidari model of Delhi? Now the examples that I am quoting are very unique. Like, and they are simple also, right? Bhagidari means participation. Sakala means on time. I'm not complicating also. At the same time, I'm bringing something unique into the table. This is what we call as USP. What is your unique selling point? Why should the evaluator give you 4.5 when he is giving everyone else 4? Because those half marks will make the difference of 20-30 marks in the final list. Because there will be 20 questions. 20 questions into half marks is 10. And 2 papers, 20 marks. So that is the difference. That is the game. The game is not like I have extra knowledge, extraordinary knowledge, and you have ordinary knowledge. What that small effort that I am putting, that helps me bring these examples, bring these keywords, bring this. How many of you know cosmopolitan localism? What is cosmopolitan localism? For example, in public administration, there is a theme, very beautiful theme called as new localism. New localism. So, with respect to new public management movement, after that new public governance evolved. What is new localism? Is that in cosmopolitan localism, what happens? You are adopting the best case practices of the outside world, but at the same time, you are not forgetting your own roots. You are also ensuring your own. Let's say, take water management. What is cosmopolitan? Cosmopolitan is world. What is localism? Local practices. That means best out of the both worlds. You are taking from the world. Also, you are taking from local also. For example, Kakatiya mission in Telangana. Kakatiya mission in Telangana. Sujalam Sufalam in Gujarat. What they do? Sujalam Sufalam, Kakatiya, they are all water management practices movements. What they do is that they bring Israel water management, Israel water harvesting technology. So they are learning from other nations through globalization. And at the same time, they have their own traditional water conservation practices. They are also using them. So this is the cosmopolitan localism theory. How many of you know regulatory capture? The regulatory capture, in the sense when corporates dominate the regulatory bodies, it is called as regulatory capture. So these are the keywords. See, when I talk about these keywords, don't you feel like I have, wow, like he has a very extraordinary knowledge? The same evaluator will also feel, right? And regulatory capture, is it difficult to understand? Even if the evaluator doesn't know that word, you would be able to immediately understand because he is 60, 70 years old. He has done his PhD, thesis, all those in PubAd. So he will be knowing very good about PubAd. So you should think that the evaluator is smart and give those keywords that impresses him. But with the right application, that I will tell how. So this is how we should evolve our public administration people. Public administration optional. And how many, if you, then this is Aribam and Aribam. This is as the foundation material. Then you can go to Prasad and Prasad. In Prasad and Prasad, there are administrative thinkers. They have given like some 20 administrative thinkers. Give me a minute. I'm audible? Yeah. So in Prasad and Prasad, administrative thinkers, there are some 20 thinkers. Now go to any of your peers' copies, any of your topper copies of the previous years also. You can see that they are using the same 15 thinkers everywhere. But if you do some extra research, you'll get so many important thinkers, so many thinkers that you can apply in PubAd paper 1 as well as paper 2. Now open your mobile and search. See, like now, even for those who are watching live, don't watch it as a like 1 hour, 2 hour video. Whatever exercise I am asking you to do, stop the video and do it. Now go to Google and search Joseph Stiglitz. Joseph Stiglitz. Stiglitz. So Joseph Stiglitz won the economic Nobel Prize in 2002-2003 for his theory on regulatory governance and regulatory capture. Now let's say, when you're talking about regulation, you immediately bring in Joseph Stiglitz, related that the regulatory capture is one of the biggest issues of modern day regulation, modern day regulatory governance. Rather than writing same that vomiting answers, see, now this becomes analytical. Now I am, because Joseph Stiglitz is a very famous thinker. Just because you don't know, don't think that the evaluator doesn't know that person. He's a very famous person because he's a Nobel Prize winner. I'm not fetching him from somewhere else. He's a Nobel Prize winner. Now go to Eleanor Ostrom. Eleanor Ostrom. Eleanor Ostrom won Nobel Prize in 2009. Like I forgot the particular year. She won the Nobel Prize for her theory on something called as polycentric governance. What is polycentric governance? One is monocentric governance, where there is only one center of power. That is centralization of power. But when polycentric governance, you are distributing the power among all the people, among all the stakeholders. That is called as polycentric governance. Don't you think it is easier to understand? What is 73rd, 74th Amendment? Is polycentric governance. You are distributing the power to the people. Right? So, what is the transparency measures? What is RTI? What is right to public service? What is Sakala mission? What is e-governance? The Twitter governance. What is Twitter governance? Do you know Twitter governance? Twitter governance in the sense, for example, in Hyderabad police, you can tweet, like you can mention your grievances and tag Hyderabad police and they will immediately resolve it. So that is the evolution of governance, right? So now can't you bring in that example whenever you are talking about transparency or people participation, citizen orientation, you can bring in these examples. Polycentric governance. And she talks about something called as common pool resource theory. What is common pool resource theory? Very simple theory. That is, trust the people. Give the power to the people to take care of the resources around them. They are the best management. They can best manage those resources. There is a forest. Whom do you think will handle it better? Central government, state government, or local government? Local government, because they know the issue. There is something called as joint forest committees, joint forest management committees. Do you know Pani Panchayats? Pani Panchayats in Maharashtra for water management, water conservation. There is joint forest management committees in Uttarakhand. Then there is SMCs, school management committees. School management committees in Karnataka. What they do is that there are schools, all the stakeholders, parents, teachers, panchayat members, all of them will come together. They will look which school is performing better, what is the attendance of the teachers, what is the pass ratio. All the stakeholders are participating. This is the common pool theory of Eleanor Ostrom. Now, don't you think these arguments are so beautiful? And when you bring in such examples, see, within just 10-20 minutes, I have given so many different points, so many unique points. And Pani Panchayats, I talked about Pani Panchayats. So, can't you apply Pani Panchayats in geography answers, in environment answers? That is the reason I got 430 in PS. 430, if you know, like, how many of you have written mains? You have written mains. Like, he knows how difficult it is to score 430. 430 is an exceptional score in GS. Why did I score 430? The reason is that this application. You have to substantiate your arguments with examples, data, statistics, facts. So now, did you understand? So now after that, you can go through the Lakshmikant Public Administration for GS2. Ramesh K. Arora, the Indian institutions like Ramesh K. Arora and Goyal book is there. That is a very good book for paper 2 to understand the issues. And then there is SS Mohanty PYQ books. So for getting an understanding of PYQs. And then there is Chronicle book. So these are the basic resources. Whenever you read those resources, don't just go page to page. Immediately, if you don't understand that, see, what is analysis? Everyone tells you to do analysis, right? Everyone asks you to do analysis. But you do you know what is analysis? Analysis is when you have an example for your argument. Is analysis. Right? Rather than blindly reading some theory, whatever you are speaking, if you have an argument, example for that, that itself is an analysis. Article 19. Tell me one example. Article 19, you know Article 19, right? For bad students, tell me. That is the article. Tell me the example. Right of footpath, fine. Excellent. The recent student protest that is happening. That is Article 19, right to protest. Right to protest peacefully. So now when you are able to connect an article that you are reading into an example, it's called analysis. What is Article 263? What is Article 14? Interstate Council. What is Article 262? Yeah. Water disputes. So 262 is water disputes. Immediately, you are reading a Kaveri issue. Your mind immediately goes to Article 262. That is analysis. Analysis is not complex. Analysis is nothing but curiosity. See, when I give you an example, you understand things better. It's called as analysis. That's what. So, for everything you read, try to find an example. That is why that is called as paper 1, paper 2 interlink. So many students ask me, sir, how to do paper 1, paper 2 interlink? For everything that you read in paper 1, try to find an example from last 2-3 years. There are so many available theories. For example, there is a chapter called as morale in public administration. There is an initiative by CRPF called as Love You Zindagi. Love You Zindagi means for CRPF personnel, they provide mental health support also. Love You Zindagi. So if you provide mental health support, won't their morale increase? Right? So this is called as analysis. I brought for a PubAd paper 1 theory, I brought an example from Indian example, paper 2 example. This is as simple as it is. As long as you have the curiosity, you would be able to interlink paper 1 and paper 2 easily. Very organically, and I will show how. Now, the most unique aspect is the AI integration, because you are in a AI generation. So I always, I used to discuss with my friends that those who got selected this year, that we are very lucky that we got selected this year, because the AI wave is coming, even in option, even in UPSC. Why? Because till now, we used AI, but not everyone did. Those who got selected, they were using AI, but not everyone else knew how to use AI. Now, because here itself, in India4IAS itself, I have taken 2-3 sessions on how to use AI. Like if you know, All India Rank Akansh Dul took AI video. There are like minimum 10 topper videos this year itself on AI use. And AI models are also getting more finer and finer. Now, whatever the work, let's say I took nearly 2-3 years to collect all these examples to all this. Now what used to take 2-3 years, you do properly, it will take 3 to 6 months max. You do properly using AI. How to use AI? So what I used to do is that I have developed a framework. I will share those framework. So with that, you apply that framework in the AI. So take after reading all these foundational materials is what I'm saying. So this is the first phase. I will explain it in phases. So first, after reading the foundational materials, take 2025 question number 1. Don't go chapter wise, don't go all this, because when you go chapter wise, let's say, if you go theme wise, let's say, you go with the theme of Bernard. You solve all the questions on Bernard. Then you come to the next topic, you won't come back to Bernard again, so you will easily forget that. But let's say you're going year wise. You got a question on Bernard in 24, again you got it in 20. So you are making your mind think through multiple revisions. Again there is a question in 2015. So you are rather than reading it once, you are revising it again and again, the same theme. So this is, and for this there is something called as thematic mapping. I will explain what it is. Thematic mapping. So here, take 2025 question number 1. I will give you the framework. So with respect to the frameworks, for example, now I will ask ChatGPT, the prompt is that, so answer this particular question on the given frameworks. So give me the thesis, antithesis and synthesis. For every question, there is an argument for, there is argument against. So now, let's say, take a question. Mary Follett was considered the prophet of management by Peter Drucker. So the question is critically analyze. Mary, now you will bring all our theories. She said power with, over, power over, all these theories. But you also have to mention that Mary Parker's theory, they were not ideal. In the sense, they were not sorry? Yeah, they were not, in the sense, they had also had certain challenges and limitations. Her theories were too ideal. And she felt that integration is more better solution to better solution for decision making, conflict management. But during, let's say, crisis situations, sometimes domination becomes a better solution. Like that. They were not situational. So like that, when you mention the opposite side of the answer also, your answers will become comprehensive. Then you will give a synthesis, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Everyone will write thesis. Everyone will write whatever they have learnt about Mary Parker. They won't write the antithesis. They won't write the synthesis. What is synthesis? How our theories inspired the future theories. This is synthesis. How future theories made corrections into our theories and brought in new theories. What is synthesis? How our theories are applicable even today. That is synthesis. How our theories, like when you suggest a way forward, that is synthesis. So this is the approach. So like now what I used to do personally is that for a 150 word question, 10 marker, you have to write 150 word. I used to go to ChatGPT. I used to ask ChatGPT, give me 4,000 word analysis of this question. Question number 1, give me 4,000 word analysis. Make it as comprehensive as possible. Bring in public administration thinkers, contemporary examples from 2023 to 26. Bring in any quotes if they are applicable. Bring thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Bring how this particular theory influenced the future theories. Bring in the context of this particular theory. If you like, let's say you are talking about NPA. Why did NPA come in? You should know the context, right? There was American institutional crisis. There was American economic crisis. All this. Then why did NPM come in? NPM come in because of the rise of the private players, their efficiency aspects. Then why did NPG come in? NPS come in, NPG come in. Why did digital era governance by Patrick Dunleavy come in? You should know the context. So now I used to ask ChatGPT for 4,000 word analysis. So then I used to get it as a story. Rather than preparing for that question, I was reading it as a story. There I was getting understanding. See, if you want to complete fast, can complete PubAd within 1-2 months. But that's not going to be useful at all. Should know the stories. Should know why, if you take the PCA, public choice approach. In public choice approach itself, there are 5-6 thinkers. How many of how many of them you know? Tullock is there. Yeah. Buchanan, all these guys. Niskanen, Buchanan, Tullock, all these guys. Now, what did Tullock say? Rent-seeking theory. So now, immediately, wherever the, like, let's say in PubAd paper 2 also, whenever you're talking about corruption, one of the major issues, reasons for corruption is rent-seeking. Immediately you bring in, as highlighted by Tullock in his rent-seeking theory. This led to the issue of corruption. This analysis, this is paper connecting paper 1 to paper 2. You understand things better. You would be able to handle paper 1 PubAd very comprehensively and very easily. Because you have all the resources. I have given you the documents, I have given everything. I have given the thinkers also. For example, you may know 10-15 thinkers. I have given you 80 thinkers. What more do you need? You need more thinkers. Just try to understand even like 30-40 among them, you will realize how beautiful they are. And this was what I learned from analyzing every topper copy available till last year. Except my year, show me a topper copy from 2021, 20 to 24. I have analyzed every PubAd topper copy. From there, I picked up. They are mentioning exact thinkers. They are mentioning exact quotes, exact keywords. That is why they are getting those extra good marks. So this is what is necessary in PubAd. So I used to ask for 4,000 word analysis the same way. Then what I did was the second question, third question, fourth question. Analyze like this. It will take a lot of time. And don't just copy paste. You have analyzed it. Now you've got a beautiful point, copy paste. That's not the case. Put something into your notes only if you have understood that point. Just because that point seems beautiful, don't copy paste it. Only if you understand it, paste it into your notes. So I built a notes like that. Then what I did, I built a notes like that. I uploaded the notes to ChatGPT. I asked fetch examples from my notes also. So let's say I gave one example for regulatory governance, but that example is applicable also for comparative PubMed. I didn't know that. But when I asked ChatGPT, ChatGPT fetched that particular same example for comparative PubMed also. Oh, then I understood, wow, I can connect this example for this topic also, this analysis. And again, ChatGPT used to give a refined answer. I used to upload it to my notes to ChatGPT notes. I used to build a feedback loop like that. That is what I did in the last year. For example, if I am studying 15 hours, I used to give nearly 6 to 8 hours only for AI analysis. Because what is AI? What is AI? Wherever all the materials are there, it will bring the best points out of it and give it. Especially ChatGPT Plus, not ChatGPT. ChatGPT Plus is a paid version. Yes, higher trillions of parameters. That's why the answers are more standard. Then I did a feedback loop like that. I can assure you, you can't show me a better collection of examples that I did than anyone else. That is why that is the reason I got 150, right? There is a reason for that. Because for me it is genuine curiosity. If I become a DC, so I will implement this aspect from this district. So if you go to my Telegram channel, you can find a map. In map, I have marked every state. Every state, what are the best case practices? In Kerala, there is a Satyameva Jayate initiative. There is MG Narega pension for MG Narega pension is there. No other state has MG Narega pension. In the sense, for the workers, they are giving pension also. Then in Kerala, there is Cyber Dome project. In Karnataka, there is Sakala mission, Bhumi project. There is Fruits portal. In Tamil Nadu, there is inclusive industrialization model. Then, if you go to Andhra Pradesh, then there is land pooling model in the Visakhapatnam, Amaravati and all. In Hyderabad, there is Twitter governance. There is, what do you call? In Hyderabad, there is Twitter governance. Hyderabad policing, smart policing, AI-based policing, CCTNS system implementation. If you go to Maharashtra, there is Mahila Arthik Vikas Mahamandali. If you go to Gujarat, there is Sujalam Sufalam initiative. If you go to Rajasthan, there is a portal, very important portal, Jan Suchna portal. In Rajasthan, there is Jan Suchna portal, where they give RTI information and all. In Punjab, there is anti-corruption hotline. In Madhya Pradesh, there is PPP, you know, public-private partnership. In Madhya Pradesh, there is public cooperative partnership, PCP model. In UP, see, immediately I'm able to recollect minimum 30-40 examples that you don't know, that nobody knows. Why? This is my genuine curiosity. Which state is doing well in which parameter? AI is there. I did everything by reading Niti Aayog documents and all. I went through those Niti Aayog documents. You don't have to do that. You just ask, give me 10 areas in which Karnataka is the leader. He will give you this example. But that was not the case 2 years ago. And you have that opportunity, make the utilization of that opportunity. Now, so this is how I used, for example, what are the thinkers, what are the examples that I can bring in? Like I will give you those frameworks, nothing to worry. Then for PubMed, another value addition that you can do is PubMedpedia. This magazine is there, monthly magazine, excellent magazine. So with respect to current affairs. So in there, it connects the current affairs of that particular month along with the PubMed theories. So that way, and also he connects thinkers with the theories. That way you are able to understand how to link thinkers and current affairs and all. So very beautiful magazines. Everyone, it's a must for PubMed students. PubMedpedia magazines, you can go through that. And See, in PubAd paper 2 in these nothing but examples. Nothing but examples. So now go and search something called as South Africa Integrity Institution Appointment Model. South Africa Integrity Institution Appointment Model. A very beautiful model. Let's say take the example. There was a recent controversy on appointment of the election commissioner, right? Now search what is this model, South Africa model, and immediately that is such a beautiful model where civil society, National Human Rights Commission, then legislature, executive, judiciary, all of them participate in appointing the head of an integrity institution. For example, election commission. That is, even the civil society is participating. NHRC, the Human Rights Commission is participating. All three pillars, legislature, executive, judiciary, all are participating. Which do you think is better, Indian model or the South African model? What is the current Indian model for election commissioner, chief election commissioner? What is the Indian model right now? One is the prime minister, one is the minister of opposition, and one is the cabinet minister. Only executive and legislature. There is no judiciary. But in South Africa, there is also judiciary, there is also civil society. Which model is better? Can't you write it as a way forward? Simple. It all comes out of your genuine curiosity. See, what is PubAd? In the most simplest words, PubAd is about solutions. They don't want that same drama, challenges, all this from you. As a PubAd student, are you looking for solution? Whether they are asking or not, note down, whether they are asking or not, you should give solutions in every question in paper 2. You should either give a way forward or contemporary. In every question in paper 1, you should give a contemporary relevance. Why? Paper 1 is about theory, right? Theory. What is the contemporary relevance of that theory? NPM, what is the contemporary relevance? Today we have brought something called as, let's say, CP grams for accountability. That is NPM. That is what NPM said. We have brought in PPPs. We have brought in PPP appraisal committees, all this. PPP tribunals, all this. Income tax. Then we are also trying to Jan Vishwas Act, where we have reduced the role of government and we have given more freedom for the private players. That is NPM. So you should interlink like this. So now in paper 1, in every question you should bring in contemporary relevance. In paper 2, in every question you should bring in the way forward, solutions, all this. Must. This is what I learned from a topper, Kunal Rastogi. He is PSI optional. I learned from that particular topper. He got 134 in paper 2, GS2. 134 in GS2, if you don't know, is one of the all-time IAS scores. All-time IAS scores. And you should go through his GS2 copies. They are helpful for your PubAd also, because PubAd paper 2 is GS2. Excellent answers. In some answers, you feel like you can't write anything better. Like that, he has written answers. So you should learn from other toppers and inculcate. This is what we should do in PubAd, because PubAd, you are learning as a DC from other district. The same way you are learning from a topper and inculcating in your answers. Now, the number of points, 12 to 15 points in 10 markers. Then for a 20 marker, you should bring in 20 to 25 exam points. And PubAd, another most important is Pepe format, especially paper 2. What is Pepe format? Point example. Hit them with so many good examples. See, I will give you an analogy. Go write your answers in such a way that you are holding a knife against your evaluator. I have written so much, I have given so many examples, I have given you so many thinkers. You can't give me less than 10 mark for this 20 marker question. You can't give me less than 12 mark for this 20 marker. You should write in such a way. Otherwise, let's say you got a bad day, you are unlucky, and you will be suddenly drop, your score will suddenly drop by 30-40 marks. That shouldn't happen. Even on a bad day, you should fall to a above average score. And for that, you have to put extraordinary efforts. You have to give examples, think of all this. I will show how to apply, how to do that. Then the five stages. One is the foundational preparation. You can watch videos, but usually I don't recommend them because 150 videos, 2 hours, 300 videos, you know how long it will take. First, try to read it on your own. If you don't understand, ChatGPT it. If you don't understand, Google it. Or like AI, ask AI for detailed explanations, you will get. Then PYQ analysis, note down 2013 to 2025. Every question you should analyze on your own. I have also analyzed the PYQs. Oh, don't think Manoj and IAS anyways analyzed. I will just refer his notes. I will get 150 in PubAd. Never going to happen. Same in GS also. Never going to happen. That is because very severe effort. I have put that effort for 3-4 years. See, if you have attended my essay classes, any classes, I never look at the PPT and teach. The 600 page notes, my notes, I can share, I can teach you without ever looking at my notes. Ever. That is what I always say. We think note making, we have to write down green ink, red ink, blue ink, yellow ink, all this. Your notes is here, not the PDFs. Because I can assure you, if I am giving you 300 examples, I can name all 300 examples. Why? Why? Because I have understood it. In the sense, don't run behind something only because it looks like fancy. Do something for pure understanding. Forget about UPSC. Don't think that I am going to prepare for UPSC. I will read this. You are reading regulatory governance. When you become an IAS officer, you will be handling regulation all the time. So these are the challenges in Indian regulation. So these are the solutions that can be done. Think like that. What can I do? What are the solutions? Always look for solutions. Automatically your answer starts getting better. Why? You are thinking like an administrator. That is what I have always said. You are not an aspirant giving UPSC exam. You are an officer who is just giving the UPSC exam. Your thought process, if it is already in UPSC as an administrator, then for you to write these answers, it won't take much time. So then second aspect is PYQ analysis. I can assure you it will take 3 months. Just PYQ analysis will take 3 months. If you say the way I do, AA analysis and all, it will take 3 months. But if you do that, I can assure you 70-80% of your PubAd preparation is done. 70-80% of your preparation is done. So that is why. Then the value addition aspect, value addition also. Value addition, till now you had to suffer for value addition. So, but I have given all the 80 thinkers, all the 450 examples, all the 500 keywords, then dimensions, frameworks, every value addition, code, contemporary relevance, model, what do you call? Best case practices, everything I have given in PubAd Brahmastra document. I will talk about that as well. I have given all the value addition possible. For value addition, you can refer my notes. For if you are a beginner, first go through the Brahmastra documents. I will explain what they are. Understand how to think in a question. Then start studying these books. Then you will be knowing what to study for, rather than blindly studying. If you are someone who has completed your foundation and all, do PYQ analysis, simultaneously look at the documents. See, I never make an argument without substantiation. I will show to you the Brahmastra documents and I will prove they are the best documents available for PubAd. Because I am arguing with examples. Because just the 2-3 thinkers that I had told, If you show me in any video that these 2-3 thinkers, Joseph Stiglitz, Eleanor Ostrom, then all this, like if you bring in this, then I will say their material is better than mine. See, whenever you make an argument, you should always substantiate. Otherwise, why would people believe you when you are an IAS officer, when you are an IPS officer? So the same way. Then the value addition, then the prelims to mains. During the prelims to main stage, you should be writing optional answers, minimum 2-3 answers every day. Because optional is, if you stop it at once, you will forget everything. In the sense, the theories, especially the theoretical aspects, should have a constant practice. So during prelims and mains, to write 2-3 answers every day. How much time it will take? Don't give me the excuse that I am preparing for prelims. 3 answers, it will take 20 minutes, 21 minutes, take 30 minutes. Another analysis will take 30 minutes, 1 hour. If you are studying for 10-12 hours a day, don't you have 1 hour for your mains preparation? See, because your goal is not to clear just prelims. If you focus only on prelims, you will clear prelims this year, okay. You will write mains, you won't do well in mains. Because mains is very competitive. And again, next year you will write prelims. What if that next year prelims is tough? You again will fail prelims. Make sure if you are preparing for all the stages together. So that is why. So now prelims to mains, make sure you are writing 2 answers every day. I am not asking you to dedicate even 6 hours for mains. 1 hour. 1 hour. You will understand why. Because I have written 3 mains. I am writing my 4th mains this year. So you will, when you write a mains, you will understand. You need that continuity. Otherwise, you will forget everything. Then final, prelims to mains. Practice, right? 20-30 answers every day. Do as much as value addition. And another thing that I forget, most important, is topper copies. Go to Lukman IAS. Right, note down. Go to Lukman IAS website. Search for public administration topper copies, Lukman IAS. You will get, look at every topper copy from 2021 to 2025. Mehak Jain, Priyansha Garg, Kushali Solanki, Priyansha Verma. Then like there are so many more people. Go through every one of their copies. Look, why did they get 150, 145 in paper 1? Why did they get 150 in paper 2? How did their answers evolve from test 1 to test 8? How are they analyzing things? For example, if you go to Priyansha Garg, she has written beautiful antithesis. Pick those. Make it a part of your. The mains preparation is comprehensive. Don't think that if I study from this institute, if I study this, if I take this institute course, I will be able to ace mains. That's never going to work, because in the end, only 3,000 people clear mains. 2,700, not even 3,000. And among 2,700, only 900 people will make it to the list. These 900 people are doing what I am doing, what I am telling. They are doing analyzing on their own. See, now go to, let's say, take rank 1 to rank 900. Check where they have taken coaching. Minimum you will find 500 people didn't take coaching only. Coaching in the sense, foundational coaching and all. I am not saying foundational coaching is wrong. Then why did they clear? They cleared because they are analyzing on their own. That is the difference. The difference is that they are analyzing, they are putting their efforts on their own, rather than depending on some institutes or some material, some courses. So final stage. Then the PYQs I have mentioned, topper copies is must. Peer discussions, don't start right now, because Manoj sir has said peer discussions also important. You don't know anything about PubAd. There is a beautiful meme, if you know, 2 monkeys discussing quantum mechanics. Did you understand the meme? 2 monkeys discussing quantum mechanics. In the sense, you don't know anything about PubAd. You are discussing with a peer who doesn't know anything about PubAd. It's just that you are just wasting your time. That's it. Then ChatGPT for AI analysis, model solutions test series. Go through Lukman model solutions of 2025-26. Last 2 years, any 2 years. Lukman model solution. They are extraordinary. Extraordinary Lukman model solution. Most of the toppers, what they do is that they take diagrams from Lukman, they write it in their answers, and they get good marks. Not saying they do not get good marks. Lukman model solutions are also pretty good. Then answer writing and practice. Cannot emphasize enough. Whatever you know, in the end, you have to write it in your answers. Doesn't matter if you are a professor who has taught about for 30 years. You can't write your 10-minute, 150 word answer, 10 marker, 150 word answer in 7 minutes. Doesn't matter, your knowledge doesn't matter. Answer writing from today. If you read chapter 1 today, you read regulatory governance. Don't start writing answers from day 1. But start writing from day 1. You read regulatory governance today. At the end of the day, sit down, write whatever you know about regulatory governance. 2-3 pages, write like a story. Regulatory governance. Then Joseph Stiglitz said that regulatory capture theory. Then in regulatory, India is also coming up with new regulations like AI Regulation Act of 2025, DPDP Act. So write down whatever you have read. That way you will be reading minimum 3-4 topics every day, right? Every topic, take 5-7 minutes, write whatever you know. You will be writing for 30 minutes. Do the same for 2 months. You will see that by the second month, your writing has improved. Now you are writing in a point-wise format. You are giving a lot of examples. That way, the progression happens like this. Progression is exponential. For 1 or 2 months, you won't see any progress. But suddenly, if you show consistency, it will become exponential. Most people give up here only. They write 1 or 2 answers. They feel that their answers are not improving. They give up. Don't start writing answers from day 1. Start writing from day 1. So, because the biggest enemy of UPSC preparation, one is laziness, complacency. Second is FOMO. Another is perfection. Now what will happen, I will tell. Now you are doing PYQ analysis. Your friend will come. Bro, you are reading only, like, I have bought this test series. I am already writing test series. You are not writing. Then you are like, oh, guy is already writing test series. I should also write. You throw PYQs, you start writing test series. You don't know anything. You write bullshit answers. You write 1 or 2 tests. Then you are like, I don't know anything. Again, sir, what should I do? I wasted 2 years. That shouldn't be the case. You are doing PYQ analysis. You don't do, I can assuredly say, please don't waste your 2-3 years. Pack your bags, go back to your home. If you're not ready to do PYQ analysis for GS, for essay, for optional, any optional, on your own, if you're not ready to do that, pack your bags. It's far better, far strategic decision. Why would you waste your 2-3 years trying to do something fancy? Because this is something what I called as 12-4-4 rule. 12-4-4 rule. Go to GS paper 2 today. Whatever I am saying, I am giving you examples. 25 paper. GS2 paper. Go to GS2 paper. Do which themes they have asked questions from. 17 out of the 20 questions, they are directly from PYQs. The themes are directly from PYQs. 17. 3 were bouncers. Okay, I agree. But the questions were more analytical. That is fine. That is what is expected from you. Analytical answers. There is a 12-4-4 rule. If there are 20 questions in mains, you have to write 12 extraordinary answers, 4 good answers, and 4 below average answers, average, below average answers. You will gain most of your marks in those 16 questions. Why? Why? Because those 16 questions are coming from PYQs. You know which areas they are going to ask questions from. Go to your room. Out of NPM, NPS and NPA, one question is for sure it is going to be there, right? One question 100% on administrative law. One question this year pakka on governor. Fine paper 2, pakka. 100% it is going to be there. If you do PYQ analysis, you will be able to predict. Next year they are going to ask a question on this. Then you will prepare so well for those questions. You will get maximum max in 16 questions. Now what happens is that in these 4 questions, which you can write average answers, the coachings will create a FOMO. So if you don't prepare for those questions, you won't be able to qualify. Now they will launch 2000 page. If you read this, you will cover all the 20 questions. Now, to read those 2000 pages and understand them, you need to be a journalist. Why are you preparing for UPSC? You are in UTBL art student. Why are you preparing for UPSC? Because there are 17 more subjects to prepare in UPSC. For one subject, if you are reading 2000 documents, when will you prepare for other subjects? So rather than running behind these 4 questions, give your best in the 16 questions. You should write answers in such a way no one else is writing. In those 16 questions, then pakka you will get top scores. I can assure you that. You can, in optional, you will get minimum 130 to 140. So because of those 16 questions. I know so many of my friends who didn't write 2 answers. They still got 135, 140. Why? Because the evaluator also understands. See, like when I said all these keywords, immediately, let's say, in my first, second question, third question, I used keywords, thinkers, examples like this. What did you feel? You felt that, oh, this person is a knowledgeable person. And even if I am writing, even if I am not writing one question, let's say, you should be writing. That is the basic standard. You should be writing all the questions. Even if you are writing a below average answer in one question, what will the evaluator think? Evaluator will think that this person, maybe because of time shortage, he is not writing this question. He knows, but he is not able to, like, he didn't have much time. He will think like that. But if you are writing average answers in all the questions, this person, the evaluator will think that this person doesn't know anything. It is the evaluator psychology. Think from evaluator's perspective. So, proper copies, then brainstorming and all, brainstorming, okay. Answer writing, practice, guidance and mentorship. Guidance and mentorship play a major role because you have to know where you are moving. So you need to make course corrections. Find the right mentor. For me, Krupal sir was one of my mentor. He helped me make those small tweakings in my answers. So the same way, you can find guidance and mentorship. If you don't find guidance and mentorship, it's fine. Why? Because topper copies are there. Topper copies are your mentors. Then AI is your mentor. Till now, there was an issue of guidance and mentorship. Now, there is no issue. Upload the answer that you have written. Ask ChatGPT. Which dimensions did I miss? Which examples did I miss? Which examples can I bring in? Which thinkers can I bring in? That itself is your correction. Don't have to do something fancy. Now, the next aspect is the one is with respect to PYQs. If you have 1 year to prepare for PUBAD optional, you have to spend your 9 months on PYQs only. I can assure you, if you do PYQ analysis properly, just the way I have told, there is no way you're getting a bad score. The PYQ analysis, see, go to any PUBAD student, any optional student, what they think of PYQ analysis is that they have a model solutions book. They will cover from page 1 to last page, PYQ analysis done. Where is analysis? That is reading. That is called as PYQ reading, not analysis. Analysis is what? When you do something unique, when you bring in examples for every point, that is analysis. So, one is solution-oriented approach. You have to bring in PYQ. And You don't know how to analyze PYQs. One thing for paper, even ethics, GS3, essay, GS2, GS1, you don't know how to do PYQ analysis. I have taken classes here only. Mains with Magnus classes. For every point, if I am giving an example, the example that you don't know about. For every point I'm giving an example. See, when you listen to a class, don't listen to the class for the content. Content, I have given enough examples which will take 1 year for you to understand. I've given so many examples. I've given so many thinkers. But don't listen to classes for content. Listen to the classes for the thought process. How does Manoj think? How does this particular topper think? Why? What can be the reason this particular topper got very good score? When you try to understand that aspect, you will also be developing your own thought process. That is what is important from these classes. For PubAd, I can't be taking classes. I don't have the time, but I have taken ethics classes. In ethics, there is, as I mentioned, bureaucratic ethics is there. Bureaucratic ethics is PubAd paper 2. So you can go through those classes. You can go through even GS3, I have taken budgeting and all. Budgeting is a part of PubAd syllabus. So you can go through these classes and you will understand the exact thought process. Another thing, now content return on investment. Self-evaluation. Self-evaluation is, as I mentioned, write answers, upload it to ChatGPT. You don't need to even get it evaluated from a mentor. There is something called as return on investment. See, mentorship is important, but mentorship is important only when you have content. You wrote an answer. You took it to a mentor. Do you really explain? You really expect him to sit down, explain the whole theory for you? You have to know the content first, right? Then the mentors can give you the refinement. If you don't know the content only, then what is the important use of mentorship guidance? First, strengthen your content. Where does content come from? PYQ analysis, AI analysis. So build your content. Content is the king. And see, I will give you one beautiful example. Beautiful example. That is, I shouldn't be saying this. Don't take it the wrong way. I have written 3 mains. How many of you have written 3 mains? Nobody, right? So don't do what I did. Maybe I could have scored more if I had not done that. That is, okay, fine. Guess how many answers have I written for PubAd paper 2 this? Just take a guess. 152. Then PubAd paper 2 for a paper. Fine, 100. Then take a guess. First. 120 to 150. Written 0. Written 0. Why? Because I know I have strong content. I have written, this was my 3rd mains. I was not having time. For me, I knew my content is unmatchable. On any day, my content is unmatchable. And I know I trust my analysis. I know that even if you give me any topic right now, I will generate you 15, 20 points on the spot and give it to you. 20 unique points, give it to you. I have that confidence. So I focused on the other subjects. I am saying that was wrong. I should have practiced more. But is the importance of your analysis. Once you understand things, the same way, like I read Lakshmikant in 2022. I have read Lakshmikant only once. In market, everyone says you have to read Lakshmikant 10 times. You don't need to. If you understand it at the first instance, why do you need to read it again? That is my question. Did you understand what I'm trying to tell? If you are understanding, if you are like genuinely curious and understanding it at the first instance, why do you need to read it again? Okay, you didn't understand it at the first instance. Then go for second instance. Why do you need it to read it 10 times? Are you trying to buy art? Are you trying to rote learn it? This is not board exams. Here your thinking, analysis matters. For ethics, I have written 10 answers. For GS3, GS2, I have written 0 answers. I'm not saying I am someone great. I am not boasting myself. What I'm trying to say that, see, and okay, my notes I will share. Like I have already shared it in group. My notes, go through my notes. If you can show, like I am saying it on YouTube, like this is always going to stay on YouTube. If you can show me a better ethics notes and essay notes than mine, any topper, show their better notes than mine. I had done PYQ analysis so thoroughly. Every question used to take 2 hours for me. Like when I said that I have not practiced any answers, maybe you thought because he is lazy, he didn't do. But if the way do PYQ analysis for one question the way I have told you, AA analysis, 3000, 4000 word analysis, all this, do question for one question and multiply it into 260 questions. 260, not 260. In PubAd, there are 28 questions for paper, 12 years, 28 into 12, that is 28 into 12 is 300, 300 into 2 papers, 600 questions. You'll realize how big a task it is. I have done it for every essay, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, PubAd paper 1 and 2. I have done it for prelims PYQs from 1979 to 2025. I have done it for CDS, I have done it for CAPF, I have done it for CISF. Yes, how many days I have prepared for prelims this year? 0. See, I'm not boasting. What I'm saying is that just because I have given 0 this time, that doesn't mean I want to put in 15,000, 20,000 MCQs last year. First, solve me 15,000 MCQs this year. I can confidently say you can give prelims next year with 0 effort. You understand what I'm trying to say? I have solved 40,000 MCQs. 40. Solve me that much, next attempt you will clear without any 0 days of practice, I can assure. For PubAd, every PYQ I have analyzed Lukman model solutions. I have gone through all 3-year solutions. Do one test analysis, you will realize how difficult it is. I have done it for 3 years. So this is what it takes. The amount of effort that it takes is humongous. I'm not saying you shouldn't do answer writing, because see, you are all beginners. From this class, you are all beginners, because now many of you understood whatever you were doing was wrong, in the wrong direction. Now, from now on, you are beginners. So don't think Manoj sir didn't do answer writing, I will also not do. Not going to work. Because for me, I failed in mains, first mains, I failed in second mains. That was why I was writing third mains. If you also want to fail in first mains, second mains, and do well in third mains, you can follow my strategy. If you want to do it in your next mains itself, you have to not make the mistakes I did. That is learning from toppers. See, I am openly saying that what I did was a mistake. Maybe if I had practiced more, I could have gotten even better rank. Like if you know, like many of you don't know, I guess, I'm missing IAS by 1 marks. Missing IAS by 1 marks. Maybe like, had I written 10 more answers, I would have gotten 1 marks. I do not have regret at all. Because I know I have given my 100%. Just because I didn't do answer writing, that doesn't mean I was wasting time. I was focusing on the brainstorming aspect. Brainstorming, analysis, interlinking. I was doing it so much. But answer writing also helps us act as a revision. And don't think there is another aspect. So what will happen? You will read something. Sir, I read this a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I forgot everything. See, it's a process. You will read it today in a book. Tomorrow, after 1 week, you will do PYQ analysis. After 1 week, you will do AA analysis. After 1 week, you will write some answers. After 1 week, you will go through some topper copies. After 1 week, you will go through like some model solutions. After that, you will write a test series. You are repeating the same topic for like 7-8 times, right? there is your revision. Then you will be able to remember it for longer time. It's a process. Don't rush. Don't rush. Just make sure you are putting your efforts every day. That's it. You have to be giving 10 to 12 hours every day. If you are giving 10 to 12 hours every day dedicatedly, you have nothing to worry about. I can assure you, if you are giving 10 to 12 hours every day in the right direction through PYQ analysis and all, you have nothing to worry about. Sir, how should I divide my day? If you want, you can give 12 hours for one subject also. If you want, you can divide it into 6, 6. You can divide it into 4, 4, 1, 1. That is up to you. But at any cost, you should be giving 10 to 12 hours. Then, now I will show the documents. Yeah. So, see, let's take the communication topic. So bad. So communication, how many of you know communication? Communication I have taken it because even if you haven't read PubAd, communication is something easy to understand. Now, the first thing I have done is communication. What is its definition and meaning? This is the more usual aspect that you read in your theory and all. But do you know there are something called as downward communication, horizontal communication, upward communication? So all those are there. So these are aspects. And another, what is the scope and significance? Why communication is necessary? One is communication helps build trust and legitimacy. Communication helps reduce conflicts. Who said that? Follett said that. Bernard said that. Communication helps reduce conflicts. What does communication do? Communication ensures the gap between aspiration and implementation is reduced. There is some policy. There is some implementation. If there is no proper communication, the gap will increase, right? Communication will ensure the gap is reduced. Communication ensures there is accountability. Let's say, as a person, as a citizen, let's say I'm giving a complaint on Twitter. So there is a communication. The C2G, they are called, it is called as C2G, citizen to government, C2G communication. There are multiple ways of communication: G2C communication, G2B communication, G2G communication, then G2E communication. G2E is government to employee. G2B is government to business. G2G is government to government. G2C is government to citizen. These are multiple aspects of communication. So now, so for G2B communication, what is government doing? There is MSME Samadhan portal. All of you know MSME Samadhan portal. So MSMEs will upload, sir, this is my issue. My MSME is facing this issue. Please resolve this. Immediately government will resolve. That is communication. So it will ensure proper service delivery. This is a PubAd paper 1. What I am explaining, not explaining theoretically. I am explaining from real governance perspective, right? This is what PubAd expects. This is what all GS papers expect from me. How many of your sociology students, sorry, all of your PubAd students, if you ask, if you know sociology, if you have your sociology friends, ask them, like they know Milder Kim, then Upendra Bakshi, Anthony Giddens, all these guys. I'm from PubAd. How do I know these thinkers? Curiosity. And let's say I'm writing a society answer. I'm writing like the sociology students do. See, how many of you know what is doctrine of procedural propriety? Doctrine of such procedural propriety. It's a word used in law. How do I know that? Curiosity. See, what is doctrine of procedural propriety? Propriety is what? Following rule of law. Procedural propriety. That means there is a procedure, proper procedure. There is something we call as standard operating procedures, SOPs. There is a SOP. When we follow that, that is called as doctrine of procedural propriety. What is doctrine of? Note down. Doctrine of, we'll discuss about this also. Parents patry. All these aspects I have covered in classes. The answer writing classes, you can go through it. Parents patry. See, Understand what is parents patry? What is parents? Parents is parents. Parents. What is the role of parents? To take care of the children. The same way the government has the responsibility to take care of the citizens. That is called as doctrine of parents patry. If the government doesn't provide the services, then the doctrine of parents patry is broken. Right? So, like, can't you bring it in your PubAd paper 2 answers? Can't you bring it in your ethics answers? Can't you bring it in your GS2 answers? You are writing an answer on environment. The duty of the government is to take care of the environment. If it is failing in that, the doctrine of parents patry is breached. You are writing an answer on society. The role of the duty of the government is to take care of the tribals, take care of the women. If it is not doing that, parents of patry is broken. See how I applied a single doctrine into all 4 papers. All 4 papers I will apply it to paper 2 also. It's called as analysis. The ability to connect points with the themes. This is what we call thematic mapping. So as soon as we think of communication, so what do you remember is and communication. Then there is, what is this also you don't read it in your theory. When you are talking about communication, what is the most important aspect of communication? One is there should be clarity in communication. Note down 4C, 5C principle. Clarity in communication. There should be credibility in communication, right? Because if you don't know, if the credibility of the source is not there, why would you trust that communication? There should be credibility. There should be consistency in communication. There should be consistency in communication. There should be proper channels. The 4th C is channels in communication. There should be formal channels in communication like that. A minute. And the 5th one is coherence. There should be coherence in communication. See, with just 5 C's, how many points did I bring in communication? So this is what we call as analysis. So like this. So communication. Then now in PubAd paper 1, try to bring in evolution diagrams in almost all the theory questions. You're talking about, let's say, NPM. Show in a diagram, 1 line, 2 line diagram, how NPM evolved. You're talking about accountability. Let's say, you're talking about regulation. Initially, it used to be laissez-faire regulation. Then it became nanny-state regulation. Then it became the modern day, the regulation, this one, NPM regulation. Then it became digital era regulation. So draw a diagram like this, show. So now here, the communication, classical era, communication was viewed as formal and hierarchical. The human relations era, it also highlighted the importance of informal communication. In behavioral era, communication and its importance in decision making. Who said that? Who said that? Importance of communication in decision making. Bernard and Simon. So then new public administration. Communication as a bridge between people and government. NPA highlighted that. Digital era governance, e-governance, social media and real-time communication. The evolution is what we call theory. Right? Nobody writes this. And when you write them, just 1 or 2 lines, just the evolution. It shows your depth of understanding. What is PubAd? PubAd is like when we study paper 1, we study about evolution of things. How did PubAd evolve? How did regulation evolve? How did communication evolve? Study all these things. So then relevant thinkers. See, communication topic, right? Communication topic. I will give you the whole analysis for communication topic. Just imagine I have done that analysis for all the 110 micro themes in PubAd paper 1. All the 110 micro themes. So just imagine how much effort it's going to take. So then relevant thinkers, Barnard, Simon, communication, they talk about communication. As Barnard said that the organizations work like a cooperative social systems. So, and communication as a most important pillar in that case. And also Simon talks about decision making and communication, the importance. Then Waldo, if you know, there is a democratic theory of Waldo in democratic theory. So Waldo tells that communication is the way to ensure democratic participation. Waldo's theory. Then Mary Parker Follett, she talks about coordination. How does coordination happen? If there is no communication, there is no coordination. So Mary Parker Follett, and you can give examples. Then what I have done is that 5 quotes from thinkers. So let's say when you are talking about Barnard, so the first executive function is to develop and maintain a system of communication. See, just think, don't think it from optional perspective. Think on day-to-day basis. There is a group. You have to bring all the group together to perform some activity. What is the most important first aspect you will do? First is communication. You will tell, bro, this is your duty. This is your duty. This is your duty. Let's say there is no clarity in communication. There is confusion. There is no credibility. Let's say I am standing here, I'm asking you to do the work. If I don't have if I am not the manager, why would you do what I'm saying? So like this. Then Drucker's quote. There are like some 3, 4, 5 quotes I have given. Then keywords. They're like, if you know, there is, just a minute, give me a minute. Who is the next thinker of after Likert? Argyris. So in Argyris talks about a feedback loop mechanism. Feedback loop mechanism. What is feedback loop? He talks about something called as single loop learning and double loop learning. What is double loop learning? In double loop learning, you are addressing the grassroots issue of the challenge rather than just solving the symptom. That is double loop learning. So rather than single loop learning. So Argyris talks about something called as feedback loop mechanism. How does communication get stronger when there is a feedback loop? Let's say government gives an order to citizens, citizens give order to government, government refines it. Do you know Digital Data Protection Act of 2024? What did government do? Government first took suggestions from people. People gave suggestions. Government refined its DPDP Act. It brought in a new act. People again gave suggestions. Again, it ran like a feedback loop. That is communication. So, then communication, coordination. Then there is something called as grapevine. You know grapevine? Informal communication in any organization is called as grapevine. So there is something called as grapevine communication. This is a PYQ. How many of you have been preparing for more than 1 year? Then you should be knowing the grapevine question. This is a PYQ. This year, like 24, 25 PYQ. First question of paper 1, I guess. Last year. Grapevine communication. Grapevine. So, grapevine is informal communication. These are the keywords that you should use in your... See, now you do it PYQ analysis. As soon as communication, you read communication in your question, your thought immediately should go to 5C principle. Your thought immediately should go to feedback loop mechanism of Argyris. Immediately should go to the grapevine communication. Immediately should go to the example of DPDP example that I gave. This is called as thematic mapping. For every theme, you have 10, 15 keywords, examples, thinkers, everything ready. You have to prepare for mains like that. Don't think that I am Brahma. As soon as I sit down in the mains hall, I will be able to generate all the points. For every theme, you have to be ready with 60-70% of the content. Other 30-40% of the content, you will modify according to the question. That's it. 70% of the content has to be ready beforehand. How do you prepare that content? PYQs. As simple as that. See, there is a beautiful quote, simple is boring. That is why we overcomplicate it, that's it. Because you think that if I don't do this fancy thing, I won't qualify. But you yourself know, I guess like if there are like 20 people here, like us, you may have some 5 friends each, 100 people. Out of those 100 people, like let's say 90 people didn't clear prelims. You know that out of those 90 people, minimum 60-70 people took test series for prelims. Why did they fail prelims? If the fancy thing is all that matters, why did they fail prelims? Simplicity lies, the beauty lies in simplicity. Analyze PYQ prelims of prelims PYQs from 1979 to 2025. Each keyword, analyze it. Analyze CAPF questions, analyze CDS questions. You will get so many questions from there itself. Rather than doing PYQ analysis, you will take another course, another elimination trick course, marathon, all this. Where is your effort? That is what I am trying to ask. Then like I have given 15 keywords like this. Then contemporary examples. Contemporary examples is what? Like you are talking about communication. I just gave you the example of DPDP. For example, Election Commission, Voter Awareness Campaign. It is called as sweep. Sweep. How many of you don't know sweep? If you don't know sweep, please don't be preparing for UPSC. Sweep. Because it is there in polity. Polity is the first book you read when you prepare for UPSC. Election Commission of India, you read, right? You read. Sweep is what every Indian should be knowing, irrespective of whether they're preparing for UPSC or not. If you don't know it, then that means there is some mistake in your analysis. See, I'm not blaming you. It's your time to self-introspect, understand the mistakes that you used to do, correct them. Otherwise, why would you waste your 2-3 years? So, sweep and all. Go and search sweep right now. Search sweep. Sweep you should be knowing. Sweep is systematic voter education, like plan, like something, education initiative, voter education. You know Rahul Dravid poster asking you to vote. This sweep. For in ethics, we call it as demonstration effect. What is demonstration effect? When we see someone we admire do something, we also want to do it. That is demonstration effect. That is sweep is an example for that. And in governance, we call it as bottom-up model. We call it as the bottom-up model is what? Rather than top-to-down flow, bottom-to-up information communication is flowing. There is, in social accountability, there are 10 pillars. Jankari, Bhagidari, Sashktikaran, all this. Jankari is what? Knowledge. If the people have knowledge, then they can ask for their rights. There is Jankari. What is Bhagidari? Participation of people. What is Karyavahi? Actionable accountability. What is Sashaktikaran? Empowerment. So like this. These words. These words you should be using in your paper 2, GS2, GS4, GS3, everywhere. So like this. You got what is sweep, right? See, that is why, like, see, for me, like, I'm telling you again and again, I'm not someone who is marketing and all. You have to go through the classes. If you don't know sweep, you have to go through the answer reading classes. Because sweep is the most fundamental example that you will write when you are talking about election commission. So sweep and all. Then communication, Seva Sindhu platform for citizen government communication and all. So to like see, these are simple examples you are giving in paper 1. This is paper 1, paper 2 interlinkage. What extra is there? Tell me. This is as simple as it is. Some example, real world example, you know, you are connecting it to the paper 1 theories. This is paper 1 topic, connecting it to paper 2 examples. Then best case practices. In Singapore, there is Smart Nation Initiative. In Kerala, there is Disaster Communication Model. Then, for example, if you know, recently, NDMA brought up an app called as, I forgot the app. I brought in a new app for earthquakes, communication during earthquakes and all. So, that is another good example, right? Disaster. What is crisis communication? There is another aspect called as crisis communication. So, this is a very good example here. Recently, it was brought in. See, I am connecting 1 to theory 2. Then you have to, this is called as antithesis. Now you have said the positives about communication. You have to tell what are the challenges in communication. What are the challenges? One is there is bureaucratic red tapeism. There is delay in communication. Then there is information overload. It is called as analysis paralysis. See how catchy these keywords are. Analysis paralysis. There is too much information. When there is too much information, you don't know which information to analyze. It will is leading to paralysis. It is analysis paralysis. And there is misinformation also. That is also leading to miscommunication. Then there is digital divide. There is digital communication. But what if the people are not aware or not digitally literate? Then there is lack of coordination. There are cultural, structural barriers, all those. So these are the issues. This is the antithesis. So far I have given you the thesis, then the antithesis. Now I will give you the synthesis. What is the synthesis? Reforms, way forward. What can be done? Multilingual citizen communication systems. For example, Kisan Mitra app is there. You know AI Bhashini. AI Bhashini is what? Translation platform. 22 languages it translates. Now let's say app, it is in English. Can all the farmers in India use that? No. So you are using AI Bhashini, you are translating whatever there in the app to all the 22 languages. Now a farmer from Telangana will be accessing it in Telugu. That is communication. And what can be done is through bring in more citizen empowerment, bringing easier solutions for people. Then also bringing feedback loops. For example, how many of you know CPgrams? CPgrams, such Central Grievance Redressal Mechanism Portal, CPgrams. So CPgrams is there. The citizens can submit their grievances. The government will address them. Pragati portal is there. So that is for institutionalization of feedback mechanisms. The word institutionalization is a bad keyword. What is institutionalization? You know social audit. Social audit is followed as a, what do you call? It is not a law in India. If you want to do, you can do it. But what did Meghalaya do? They brought in Social Audit Act. Now it is compulsory in every panchayat to do social audit every year. It is called as institutionalization. When we make it a law, formal law, it is called as institutionalization. So that is a very good example. What is democratization? Democratization of information. What is RTI? RTI is democratization of information. What is democratization? When people have access, that is democratization. Now, like, did you understand the difference? You have read RTI, everyone has read RTI. But are you using the keywords like I am doing? Democratization and all. That's the difference. So, bring in aspects like this. So then can bring in Supreme Court cases and all. UCL case highlighted the importance of RTI. Because there should be two-way communication. In the sense, democratization of communication should be there. So then Shreya Shingal case and all. Then doctrine of transparency and all. Doctrines don't apply much in paper 1. They apply much in paper 2. So then value addition diagram, fine. Then synthesis. Then contemporary relevance. For example, now you will say communication is a theoretical topic. But you know, predictive communication is coming up. AI communication is coming up. So as a PubAd is getting ready for the next age communications. So that is how you bring contemporary linkage. So this is the contemporary linkage and way forward aspect. Data analytics. For example, Agree AI platform is there. It will do data analytics for the whole plot of land. It will communicate to the farmers that this year the rain is going to be less. For this particular soil, you have to use these fertilizers. That is the new age technologies, right? So the communication has to evolve from its 1980s, how was it in 1980s, to new age evolutions. That is communication. So, yeah. So, another aspect, this is a topic that is applicable in paper 1 as well as paper 2, regulatory governance. So, in regulatory governance also, I am giving the definitions and all, scope and significance, fine. Then I have given 3 types. One is context-based introduction, one is thinker-based introduction, one is code-based introductions. For even ethics, I have like 5-10 types of introductions. I have 5-10 types of conclusions. For ethics case studies, I have frameworks. For GS3, I have given the frameworks. GS2, I have given the frameworks. GS1 society, I have given the frameworks. I cannot give frameworks in history and geography. Why? Because they are theoretical subjects. So, then relevant thinkers. When you are talking about regulation, we bring Max Weber. He talked about rule of law in regulation. Wilson highlighted there should be professional regulation rather than person regulation. Then I talked about Eleanor Ostrom, right? Here it is. Polycentric governance. The regulation shouldn't be done only by the government. Then the government will modify regulations according to its own will. The regulation should also be done by people. It's called as co-regulation. The regulation should also be done by media. The regulation should also be done by institutions, independent institutions. Now this has become polycentric governance, right? Rather than only government regulating, the privates are also participating in regulation. The people are participating, the civil society is participating. This is co-regulation. The word is co-regulation. So this is how we should bring in. Then I have given you like some 5 quotes. Then regulatory state. You should know what is regulatory state. Very important aspect. Then you should give like examples and all. Competition Commission of India, DPDP Act, TRAI guidelines, RBI guidelines, SEBI guidelines. You will read it in GS3. So you should bring examples like this. For example, best case practices. For example, how to inculcate best case practices. This is a 10 marker in paper 2. Here in the corner, create a box. Let's say you are talking about regulation, right? Best case study. EU AI Act. It's one of the first acts for AI regulation. Don't you think it is unique? This is what you are doing different than your peers. Then challenges with examples and all. Then, yeah. So, fine. Doctrine of proportionality, doctrine of legitimate expectation, doctrine of public trust. See, these doctrines are not difficult at all. Doctrine of public trust. Public have kept a trust on the government. If it doesn't follow, it is breaching the doctrine of public trust. As simple as it is. Find an example for that, apply it. That is what. Contemporary relevance, influence on future theories, way forward, futuristic conclusions. Then now thinkers. Now go to your room. All these thinkers, you know, Bernard. Ramesh K. Arora talks about indigenization of public. See, now what I'm trying to show you is that I know all these thinkers through my understanding rather than just collecting those thinkers. If you want to collect, you can collect 300 thinkers also. But whether you should know their theories. Ramesh K. Arora, Federal AD, is one of the most important comparative public administration thinkers. Ramesh K. Arora, indigenization of public administration. Hayden talks about the developmental theory, developmental administration. Hayden's developmental theory is there. Gunnar Myrdal, he talks about soft state. Robert K. Merton, he talks about bureaucratic, there is a word, bureaucratic issues, challenges, something like that. Goldner, Thompson talks about bureaucratic apathy, something like that. There are principles. Then Parkinson syndrome is there in PCA, public choice approach. Then Peter Drucker he talks about improving the efficiency and all. He talks about the right person at this right management, what to do, what is right to do, and right way to do, like that. Chris Argyris, double loop learning and all. Then Kadzan Khan, they talk about the systems model. Then Fielder's theory, the contingency theory and all. Gerald Geert Hofstede, he talks about cultural relations theory. Lipsky, Dunleavy, Dunleavy is in public choice approach. Then Lindblom, Graham T. Allison, bureaucratic cultures theory, something like that. Drawer talks about the meta-analysis, policy making. There is a Drawer policy making theory, normative policy making theory by Drawer. Then James A. Robinson, he talks about institutional theory. March and Olsen, systems theory. Christopher Pollitt, he talks about new public governance. Stephen Osborne, new public NPS. Moore, he talks about new public value. Otole Jr., he talks about neo-Weberian governance. Kettle talks about neo-Weberian governance. Then George Fredrickson, Thomas Hobbes, Rousseau. These guys I guess. Rousseau, Bentham, Jeremy Bentham. Montesquieu talks about separation of power. Rousseau talks about, then Hobbes talks about this one, Leviathan state theory and all. Pareto talks about Pareto optimality in resource management. When you talk about budget, you should bring in Pareto's theory. Then Habermas talks about communication action. In communication, you should bring in Habermas. There is Habermas communicative actions theory here. Habermas. Then David Easton, systems theory. Political culture. When you are talking about political culture, you should bring in Justice Krishna Iyer. When you are talking about judicial accountability, D.D. Basu, Mohit Bhattacharya. How did you understand? And I have such collection for paper 2 also. So this is what it takes. This is what it takes. Yeah, I'm not saying that just because I'm saying all this, I have all the knowledge in PubMed. In the end, it is your ability to convert your knowledge into your answers is what matters. That's it. You may know 10 thinkers less. You may know only 10 thinkers, but if you apply better, you may get good marks, better marks than me. But what I'm trying to show that you have to put so much effort that on even your bad day, you are getting a respectable score. Don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to the mood of the evaluator. You should make your answers as objective as possible. So, like that. Now, dimensions. So, I have given you 21 dimensions. So, like, should I discuss those dimensions? Dimensions, frameworks, not dimensions. For example, just a minute, I will show you those frameworks. Through these frameworks, for nearly 80 to 90% of the questions in PubMed, you can generate points. What are the frameworks? For, like, I will show you with an example. The question is that organization of the future will be organic, adaptive structures, but temporary systems. Discuss how Warren Bennis characterizes the new form of organization. So, it was asked in 2020, PYQ, it's a PYQ. Now, I use this framework. First, think about how that particular theory is connected to ecology, authority, power dynamics, planning, communication, leadership, decision-making, motivation. This is with respect to syllabus only, not some elixir kind of framework, decision-making. Now, then, how does particular theory handle conflict management? What it says about accountability? Do it for every thinker. What does that particular thinker say about accountability? What does how can we apply their thinkers' thoughts in policy making, like that? Now, generate answers. Like positional power, professional powers aspects, communication becomes direct, horizontal, diagonal, and all. So through this, you will be able to generate points as well as examples. So this, you should go through the PDF itself to understand better. So use ChatGPT. When you apply it to PYQs, I have applied that framework for 5 questions for paper 1, paper 2. So when you go through it, you will understand it better. So now this is the framework for paper 2 as well as GS2. That is AABCC DDD framework. Acts, articles. You have to bring in acts, you have to bring in articles, you have to bring in best case practices. I gave South Africa model. Like that, you have to bring in cases. You have to bring in current affairs, the recent last 2 years examples, to bring in data, to bring in doctrines. Usually doctrines and best case practices nobody brings in. When you bring in, becomes a unique answer, and diagrams. So this we should apply for paper 2 as well. So I hope you got some lessons from this session. First, make sure you complete your basic readings. After that, go for PYQ analysis. You have to do it on your own. Then after PYQ analysis, do AI analysis for every question. Then supplement with value addition from model solutions or anything. Then practice regularly every day for half an hour, 1 hour, write answers. That is non-negotiable. And so like I have shared these documents on my group. You can go and check the documents. And please, I have nothing to gain. Please go through the classes. Minimum ethics classes, go through it. You will realize how good they are. There is a reason I got 120 and 123 in ethics. Ask anyone who has given mains, they know how difficult it is to get 120 in ethics. 120, 123 and all are top scores. There is a reason I got them. The same way, like I talked about Pepe format. Point example. I have given you those keywords, given you those examples and all. And try to learn how to apply them. And I have shared these documents in my group as well. You can check it out. And if you have any doubts, anything, you can reach out to me on Captain Magnus on Telegram. So, I hope you got a better clarity on public administration optional preparation. You also understood why people score less in public administration optional. Because people thought that public administration is same like anthropology, sociology, which are more theoretical. So if you study some books, you will be able to score. Public administration is an analytical paper. It is about how you connect your theories to contemporary happenings. That is public administration paper. So public administration is more like PSIR than like sociology and anthropology. It's not a theoretical subjects. Whatever the theory you read are just 20-30% of what you are going to write in the exam. You understand? Let's say you read all the books, all this and all. But they are just 20-30% of what you write in the exam. That is why you are not able to generate points. The reason is that, let's say you have 10 points. You have 5 points and you are trying to generate 10 points. It's not going to happen. Let's say you have 15-18 points for a particular topic. Let's say on 5-10 keywords, 2-3 thinkers, 2-3 examples, 2-3 quotes and all. Then you can write 10 points out of them, right? Of those 18-20 points, you can write 10. But you have 7-8 points and you are trying to write 10 points. It is not going to happen. So that is why. So use a more adapt in the sense the UPSC is evolving. You have seen it in 2026 paper also. UPSC is evolving. The same way, you also have to evolve. In PubAd, call it as the regulatory lag. What is regulatory lag? The issues are evolving. But if the regulation is not evolving, let's say AI is evolving day by day, but AI laws are not evolving, then people can misuse AI. Same way, There should be intellectual evolution within you also. You should show intellectual lag. Those who evolve will end up winning the game. There is a keyword for that also. There's a keyword for that also. Just a minute. Who gave the evolution theory? Darwin's. Yeah, this is called as Darwinian dichotomy. This you can use in say Darwinian dichotomy. What is Darwinian dichotomy? It is adapt or die. Correct, right? Adapt or die. So don't adapt. Those who adapt will survive. That's it. Simple, as simple as it is. AI is coming. You don't use AI properly. See, how many of you have taken foundational coaching? Now you have paid like around 1.5 lakhs, right? Now go to ChatGPT, share it with 3-4 friends, buy ChatGPT Plus. It's 2,000 rupees per month. But if you make the right use of ChatGPT Plus, it is going to help you clear the exam. It is going to help you be 40-50% more efficient than your peers. ChatGPT is different. ChatGPT Plus is different. ChatGPT doesn't have stronger analysis compared to ChatGPT Plus. That is the reason, that is why it is paid. ChatGPT Plus is very good. Can take like 2,000 rupees. If you share it among 4 people, 500 rupees per month. You spend 500 rupees per month. You spend 1,000 rupees per month on tea only. I know that. Spend it on something that is going to help you prepare for UPSC better. See, that is the funny thing. What is the funny thing? That is, so many students come to me and say that, sir, I took foundational coaching. It was not helpful at all. And when I ask, like, go through the classes, like that answer writing classes I had taken, it's just like 1,000 rupees. People will say, sir, I don't have money. See, in the end, it's your choice. That's it. If you find the value, you can like go through it. The same way, like even see, like for the value that I am giving, I told you, right, this is the best material that you can find. Like I could have charged like 5,000, 10,000 rupees. If you go to Delhi, if you pay 3 lakhs also, you won't get whatever I've discussed so far. But people are hesitant to pay 700 rupees. That is the hypocrisy of the exam. So yeah, like I do not have anything to comment there. The choice of the individual, but make sure that whatever you're doing, optional, focus more on your optional preparation now. Because optional is a gradual preparation. It's not like PS2 I completed it in 20 days. 6 I completed in 20 days. Optional is not like that. You cannot complete your optional. Optional, you are always learning because you are doing MEA in optional. It's not like you read some books, your optional preparation is done. Optional preparation, you are always ever evolving. Show that genuine passion and curiosity. Don't learn something for the sake of exam. Whatever it is, digital governance, you're going to use it as an DC. Then take any topic. Is going to affect your nation and you as an administrator, one or the other way. You know how the role of DCs change, the role of IAS officers change when there is a coalition government and when there is a stable government. You know how if in America, if the Fed rates change, how it is going to affect do you know how it is going to affect the customer who is buying groceries? Do you know? These are the things you should be knowing irrespective of whether you are preparing for UPSC or not, right? Say, for example, in America, Fed rates are increased. So there is money outflow from India. If there is money outflow, the currency will depreciate. If the currency is depreciating, imports will become costlier. We import pulses from other nations. So now, last month you used to pay 100 rupees for pulses. This month you have to pay 120 rupees. The disposable income is reducing. Because of the disposable income is reducing, they are investing more on food. They are investing less on education. They are investing less on healthcare. They are investing less on skilling. Because they are investing less on skilling, they are trapped in poverty cycle. This is called as low equilibrium trap. There is low equilibrium trap. This is called as chronic poverty. This is called as, for in health, if you study health, you will study something called as out-of-pocket expenditures. How much money a person is spending from his own pocket for healthcare. In India, it used to be 65 rupees. Now it is reduced to 39 rupees because of Ayushman Bharat initiative. Now think, a person had 100 rupees. Like a person, the bill is 100 rupees. Now on health, he is spending his own 65 rupees. But now because of Ayushman Bharat, he is spending only 40 rupees. So he is saving those 25 rupees. Those 25 rupees he will invest in education. He will invest for employment. That way, he is coming out of the loop of poverty. Analysis. Was there theory anywhere? There was no theory anywhere. But if you write these points in your answers, won't the evaluators give you marks? This is what is analysis. See, all of you have knowledge. I am not saying you don't have. All of you put the efforts. I know all of you are very dedicated. But you have knowledges, but you don't have analysis. The ability to connect those dots. How to do that? I have given you the frameworks. Do it accordingly. I can assure you, you will be understanding things far better than your peers. So this is what I wanted to say. And through this session, I have tried to make it as comprehensive as possible. Now, you may have realized how I improved my score from 190 to 270. This is the exact reason. So, yeah, hope the session was helpful. Please take 2 minutes and just give me write a feedback. I'll stand studio for 2 hours. I hope you can take 2 minutes and just write a feedback. It will act as a motivational factor for me. So, yeah. So even in PubAd, there is motivational theory the same way. Which frameworks? On my group, on my Telegram group. Like this is the Telegram. Framework. See, that is what. Now, do it in a stepwise. Do PYQ analysis using AI. Do PYQ analysis using topper notes, topper copies. Do PYQ analysis using discussions with your mentors. For example, write the answer. Why are you limiting to one aspect? Do it for AI, with AI also. Do it with topper copies also. Then come to like show it to Prashant sir. Ask, so this is my answer. How can I improve? Prashant sir will guide you. Go to your mentor. He will guide you. The mentor may give you 2 points. AI may give you 2 points. Topper copies will give you 1 point. There you are collecting 5 points. See, it is not an isolated game. It is a comprehensive game. I told you the 8 pillars, right? 8 pillars of mains. Everything is connected to each other. But to do it in a comprehensive manner. That's it. Any doubts? If you have any doubts, just reach out to me on Captain Magnus, the ID that I have shared. Thank you.
I hope the session was useful, specific when it comes to an optional. The first question is about which optional to choose. And after you listen to orientations, you listen to the ideas, once you choose public administration, the next big thing that will happen that you will listen from multiple sets of people, no, the optional is not scoring, there is an issue with the optional, hagide, higide, anta. But negative kelo jasti. Right, so in that perspective, one thing you should know is there have been continuous achievers. And today you've got the opportunity to listen from an achiever himself in terms of the effort, in terms of the journey that he's gone through. And what is that we as students of public administration should do from scratch so that our choice remains right and the effort also remains in the right perspective. That is the idea. Okay. So very quickly, right, put down some feedback on sheets of paper, which can help, which can give certain ideas. Some of you, right, if you feel free, come up on stage. The mic is open, right, in terms of the feedback that you would want to share, anything that you would want to express, please feel free, come up on stage and share the feedback. Okay. Next 2 minutes, it's open to all of you.
Please write, and whenever you come here to speak as well, please talk on what you have understood from the session. When you say what you have understood, even when you write what you have understood, then I understand how much you have understood from this session. That is the ultimate purpose of this session, right? So please do the same, even in the feedback that you write as well as feedback that you give. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm privileged to stand here and talk about Manoj's review. Actually, everybody talk what to do and what are the steps and how we should approach and all that. But Manoj sir giving genuinely his journey's experience about particularly expressing how for everything like means how we can approach AI. Everybody asks us to use AI, but exactly how to use AI? Everybody will ask we have to do value addition, but how that value addition to be done? So that specification I really got to learn from Manoj sir. So because of his experience, I can inculcate in myself that how exactly I can approach. Everybody tells actually what to do, but nobody tells how exactly it has to be done. So that how answer I always kept getting from Manoj sir whenever he takes this kind of sessions. So I'm very grateful to attend your session, sir. I was very excited for this section as well, because every time when I attend your session, there is something unique I learn from you. So in your sessions, there is not always something motivation or something like you are talking about the generic thing. You are specifying, you are making something to be learned. Like you take some topics that is related to the exam. So everybody will, usually when toppers come, they motivate, they give general aspect, but you specify the topic which is exactly related to the subject, related to the exam. So that's what I actually liked in you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before I come here, I had some multiple doubts. Usually the doubts for paper 2 is very static. How to interlink paper 1 and paper 2. I think the whole session was about that. That is a major reason. That was one question which I kept in my mind and I came. So that helped me a lot. And the AI session and all, I think previously he told me. So I'm using it. It is actually helping me a lot. How to integrate an AI and everything. So these two are very beneficial. And as was one of the came here, they told the specificness, the clarity in each and everything, what sir had told, that will help me a lot. That's it. Thank you.
there is 4-4-1-1 approach. That is 4 hours for GS, 4 hours for main optional, 1 hour for current affairs, 1 hours for current affairs, as well as 1 hour for topper copies. Why topper copies? Topper copies are the this one, the Bhagavad Gita of UPSC preparation, because they will help you understand what UPSC, the evaluators are rewarding. So topper copies you should go through, and you should go through even the current affairs. For example, one is through referring newspaper every day newspapers, because I collected these examples through newspaper only, right? If you read Karnataka newspapers, you will get some of the initiatives Karnataka government is taking. Guru Arogya Yojana. In Karnataka, Guru Arogya Yojana is there. And 4 hours for optional, 4 hours for GS. Usually, the one lucky thing about public administration is that your ethics preparation and GS2 preparation will happen with your optional preparation only. You do it in the right manner. That means you only have to prepare thoroughly for GS3, GS1 and essay. That is the beauty of PUBAD. You are really like, especially right now, the public administration is in a upward trajectory. So make sure you utilize, like there is a go with the wind. So you utilize this trend and get very good scores and do well in mains. Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. I want to personally thank India4IAS Academy as well for providing this platform, because like if you are preparing for PUBAD, especially in Bengaluru or even in online, and if you want guidance with respect to understanding how PUBAD has evolved, Sir has prepared for PUBAD for more than 15-20 years, I guess. So he knows about the evolution, how PUBAD, the trend of PUBAD has evolved. So he is the right person to guide you on this. So you can reach out to him anytime. So, and again, all the best for your preparation. Make sure the next attempt is your last attempt, and all the best. Thank you.